For sure, you're the last table up the room.
Yeah, that's okay.
We are. Okay.
Do you want me to move one down, or?
I'm by myself, so wherever
Okay,
you're
same.
comfortable. I might scoot there and just maybe get a better view.
Okay. I'll scoot over.
Want to do that too? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just water is fine. Thank you.
I'm gonna put this over here. Downstairs.
Yeah. Yes. It's always interesting. I'm so happy Stacy is speaking. Man, she is dynamic.
You're hearing that. It's a big difference to hearing someone in
I
person.
thought Kamala was speaking as well. Wasn't she supposed to speak?
Yes.
Kamala Harris?
Yes, she was. But I assume things change.
Well, things change. I just looked at.
Who attacked her last night or this morning?
Well, as you know, it was the last question somebody asked about
The chair's behind us.
I know, now we're right. You see, there's advantages. I'm Andrea, by the way. Hi, nice to meet you, Alexandra.
Barbara.
Barbara, Andrea. So nice to meet you.
right.
Great.
And in the middle of the road. I mean, I would
Are you a New Yorker, Barbara?
New Jersey. Although my soul is still in New York.
I know. When I first got married, my husband lived in Weehawken for 10 years, and it was great living there. And then we moved back into the city.
We almost did. After Sandy, she came down. But then my husband said, I love this house, I don't want to move.
I understand. You get a lot. I mean,
And I always thought I'd come back, but it's now so expensive. I don't know. There were a lot of
that is true. That is very, very true. It's a great place.
So you are gonna bring without sauce? Without sauce? Let me check. I'm gonna also use this finish couscous. You are gonna check pine nuts and pesto. You see what?
I grew up on Long Island, and I went to
Absolutely. So. And are you a New Yorker as well? Do you live in the city?
I'm from California.
Oh,
But
okay.
I live here. So.
You're living in New York now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Are you a student? Or?
Yeah, I go to Brooklyn Law.
Great. Very good.
Yeah.
Have you been, how long have you been in Emily's Lister?
I just started wanting to be involved in it because of the presidential race and stuff like that. So, kind of a while, I guess. I've always been interested in it, but now I'm getting more involved. So,
How long have you been in it?
This is only my second year. So I joined in 2016.
1985.
wow, for you.
Wow, good for you.
And then the one Emily's List event, my mother, who died 2 years ago at age of 90, way back she said, they were having a luncheon with Bill Clinton as the speaker. She said, I want to hear him. So I took her to and he was, of course, way late and had no notes and was incredible and answered every question as if he had had time to think about it and research.
And he's an incredibly smart person. Incredibly. And very adept in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything I just told the papers?
I'm not sure. I would ask them.
So you've seen a lot happening from the point of Emily's list in terms of, times are rough and, how
was,
they
and
respond.
now a completely different approach. They used to send you a list of recommended candidates, and there might be 6 or 8 at a time, and then you'd write a check to the campaigns,
Okay.
the individual campaigns, send, and hopefully a check to Emily's list, and send all the checks to them, and then they distribute them, but they track the money. And then when it got to be so many candidates, they can't do that anymore.
Right.
They can't say, pick from this list of 400.
Yeah.
So you give en masse, and they divvy it up as they feel the waste is needed.
Right.
Which I've had a hard time with because I like to choose, but I understand why, as Emily's list, they didn't have a choice.
Yes.
So I've done a little reach of picking the women whose campaigns
Which
I
is
want
still
to
good.
deal
I mean, I get information with, they're recommending who to write checks directly to, and then you just mail the check directly. But no, it's true. They have to grow, and when you even heard Stephanie speaking and how, they've almost doubled in, her tenure. That's pretty impressive. I'm like addicted now. I want to see this thing with Brad Rosenstein.
because of this New York Times. I could kill the New York Times.
I understand. And Trump is a child, so he can't, read through these things and reason with them.
And it seemed to me that there's so many opportunities to participate that never happened. So I don't know if you're...
Well, they're saying he expects to be fired.
It's the
Washington Post. I like the Washington Post too. I do the Times and the Post.
And we need to be doing more sharing with our local...
So now, how did you get to Brooklyn from California?
I met my boyfriend in New York, so that's part of the reason why I moved here 4 years ago. I was going to UC Davis in California, and then I transferred to NYU. So that's another reason.
That's good. I took my niece, she's a New Yorker, but she wanted to look at certain schools out in California, and we did look at Davis. Great campus.
I loved it. I mean, it was... I liked NYU, but I really felt like I connected with a lot of people at Davis, and I made a lot of friends. So it was a great experience, and it was really a college experience, which you don't get going to school here.
Very different. Davis is a beautiful campus, and it's also, the little town has a little bit, but everything I'm sure that you did revolved around the campus.
It was a great experience. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to go to a UC school. Even if you don't want to get into agriculture or veterinary, I know they're big on that. But even if you don't want to do that, Sacramento's right there. So if you want to get involved in politics, that was also cool.
And so now you've graduated from NYU, and what year are you in Brooklyn?
My first year. So I just started 3 weeks ago.
Oh wow, very new.
Yeah,
that is true.
It's really not bad. A lot of people are like, oh gosh, it's your 1L year. I don't know, I'm not overwhelmed yet, so I think that's good. Maybe because I went to NYU, so I expect a lot of work. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, so.
Good.
Yeah.
And are you living in Brooklyn, or do you live in the city?
I live in Manhattan.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. And then it's an easy commute.
Yeah. Where do you live?
On the Upper East Side. I live on 80th Street, so I got to walk here today, which is very nice, especially with gridlock alert.
I know. And the trains, you never know what's going to happen.
I know that. Yes.
Yeah, I've never been to one of these luncheons, but definitely, I guess I should have expected it to be 95% women. But
yes. Yes.
That's cool.
This is only my second one. So I joined Emily's list and the majority council on They do a whole program for the majority council
Okay.
members with all the division presidents of Emily's List and talking about specific races and everything. So I joined last year after the 2016 election, and they saw a huge surge in people joining and becoming more and more involved. And I really think it's interesting. It's opened my eyes to thinking about politics at not just a national level, but a grassroots level.
Yeah.
And how important the down ballot candidates are. Really important. So.
Yeah, because your down ballot candidates are like what affects your daily life. Your taxes and the subway system and all those issues affect you every day. That's why I feel like local office is super important to focus on.
So it was interesting, and they were talking about specific candidates, and what I just think is so interesting, and you look at all the diversity that the Democratic Party has, and then you just look at what the Republican Party is offering, and it's just
a lot less.
But my bigger issue is you have to get all the people who have attended would be more Democratic than Republicans. So many young people, they're not voting.
I know.
And it's
because I feel like people don't see how certain things apply to their lives. And they just look at the presidency and it's kind of removed from when you wake up, you go to school and you feel like it doesn't really affect you. So I think that's hard for young people to deal with.
Let's see what this is. No, I know.
So, Michelle Kaufman.
Hi, Andrea Watt, Michelle. Nice to meet you.
She said, she was still moving. What do you guys about? Okay. And she said, and in the library, so give money, but I'm also running.
What kind of law do you think you're going to practice?
I'm interested in election law. So especially in New York State, it's very intricate.
It is interesting.
The ballot process and how to just run for office is really complicated in New York. So I'm interested in that, and just exploring different international law is very interesting to me. Stuff with the UN, so I know some people who work there, and that's interesting. I'm trying to join clubs so that I can kind of get more of an idea of what I want to do. That seems to be helping.
It's the right way, definitely. There's so many options here. It's really interesting.
Not really. I was helping
We're all the way in the corner, huh?
I know.
You never know how these are laid out.
It's funny because these are all the majority council members, so these are the people who have been around for a long time and supporting and everything. So,
there are enough other opportunities.
It was interesting, some of the questions downstairs. One woman said, I joined Emily's List during the Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas situation. And you're just, you're forced to go back and think about that situation and how again, a bunch of white men decided what's going to happen for the rest of us. And that's the Republican Party again. It's a bunch of white men deciding what's going to happen.
The whole Anita Hill thing, they keep running the testimony on TV and stuff. It's really disturbing to watch.
Humiliating how they handled her. I mean,
I was just like trying to picture myself talking about a topic like that in front of these people and in front of the world pretty much, and it would just be so uncomfortable and like traumatizing.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
So that's the one thing they've gotten better is the optics.
Yeah.
Just the optics. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And your family's still in California?
My dad is, and my mom is in Columbus now.
Oh, I
So-
lived in Columbus for a while.
Oh, really?
Has she been there for a while?
She grew up there, and then she moved back there, so she went to high school there and stuff.
Okay.
Where did you live?
I worked for the Limited Corporation. That was that was when the Limited was really a powerhouse, in retail. So when I first moved in, I lived in the brewery, which is right next to German Village. That was a very new area.
Yeah. Now it's really becoming super hip.
Yeah. Well, I think it was always trying.
Yeah.
And then, what was the other? Oh, now I'm trying. Just west of Columbus, the little town. Just west of. It's been a while. I struggled with Columbus. I really did.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I really. No, thank you. I thought it was, I came from New York, my job brought me out there. I thought it was, a little too parochial. A little, not really as interesting and dynamic as I was hoping it would
Totally
be.
different.
And I lived there for 3 years. So, but you never had to live there, right?
No, I visited her, and I'm really shocked at how, like, the short north area, I know it's always been, like, kind of hip and trendy, but how it's really, really growing, and that's very cool.
I remember I looked at apartments there too, but when I was looking then, that was really kind of rough. That was a little too rough for me to live there, so I'm sure it's gotten a lot better. And the rest, when I moved there were only 2 restaurants that were really good. And now I'm sure there's so many.
Yeah, there's because a lot of young people are moving there. Young people are moving to urban cities, which is pretty interesting too. And they're like transforming downtown areas that weren't as nice, like LA.
Yeah.
People are moving to downtown LA, which is really surprising to me.
Right,
That's
I
where
know.
I'm from.
I love LA. I think LA's great.
Yeah.
I was just there last year. And
It's a fun place to live. Just a hard place to live in certain ways.
Yeah.
Because you have to drive everywhere.
Right, that part of it I don't like. Especially you get used to in New York. I walk everywhere.
Yeah.
All the time.
And that's nice. It forces you to exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I live in Nassau, so I only the other guy has
My mom is living in Dublin right now.
Oh, okay. That's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it's home for her, too. So, it's nice.
It's very familiar, which is good. She's lived a lot of places.
I used to think it was Australia, but that's up about
Actually, it's kind of fun sitting back here because you kind of get to like see everything.
I know.
right?
I really like observing everything.
I do too.
I just heard from a friend about this event, and yeah, I've just started getting involved with the law school right now. Yeah.
So I became a majority council member a couple of years ago with the 2016 election. And so since then I've been coming and enjoying and supporting and you?
I'm running.
You are? Where? What?
River Edge, New Jersey, for town hall.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And is this something that Emily's has contacted you or you?
No. I was going to meet the woman who's the field rep for Josh Gottheimer in my neighborhood.
Okay.
And she thought I was working for Josh Gottheimer. It was kind of a miscommunication. And then she was like, hey, do you want to run for town council? Because she's the municipal chair for the Democratic Committee in my town. And I said, sure.
And then you
kind of a freak
and
accent.
never had you run for any kind of office
No,
or anything?
in college.
And that's near Hackensack, right?
Yeah.
River Edge? I know exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who are you running against?
An incumbent Republican.
Okay. Is the district pretty Republican?
No, it's more Democratic.
Good.
But we definitely have Republicans.
So it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
I mean, it always is when you're running against incumbents.
Yeah.
So how are you finding that Emily's list has been supporting you? What have they?
I have been using their online training materials, which are really good.
Okay.
They have all these questionnaires to fill out and spreadsheets to use.
Yeah.
And that's how they've been doing it.
And do they give you any hands-on support?
They don't, but I haven't asked because I've gotten so much from my town that I
That's
don't.
good.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah.
It's always hard to find volunteers who are dedicated.
And that's not even a racist or anything.
It's okay. It's a crowded table.
Where I live on the South Shore, Nassau County, we have an apartment in Manhattan, but it's our official residence is Walgreens. So, and they're no, Kathleen Rice.
Are you enjoying your work?
Yeah. I've, I've been there a lot since I moved here, but it's nice because it's right in downtown Brooklyn, so it's really easy to get to. It's a super fun neighborhood. So.
Where exactly?
It's right on Geralman Street, so right where all the courts are, and the 4-5 train for Borough Hall.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very, very easy to get to.
Yeah, that's a good neighborhood.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So what is this Lee Selden story?
One of the Jewish Republicans in Congress.
Oh, wow.
Trump all the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There had been Democrat representatives
Uh-huh.
by medical law.
Uh-huh.
In 2016, Trump brought out a lot of people who never voted. Big market about it. We'll see. I mean, this guy is not. They're
other candidates, and every one of the women that but he supports all the right things, and he's wealthy.
Got a good chance. That's good.
Right.
I know, that's really cute. I like that a lot. I want to put it on my backpack.
Right.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And the fact that Trump will be ready to now.
Yeah. And this is like the big event of the year.
Has a lot of
They do
over the
smaller
gang.
fundraisers for candidates. And they do in a variety of cities, other bigger fundraisers, so for Washington,
Okay.
West Coast.
Cool.
This is kind of the big national.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Very excited. Right. I've never gone to any of that.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Miss, is there towers there?
What?
Towers?
Yeah.
How many?
Like 10.
Could you pull this forward? Sure. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry for that.
It's okay.
And is the town governed by a mayor? Is that
Yeah, well, it's a weak mayor, strong council, so it's 6 council people and a mayor. Yeah. It's been fun. It's been really fun.
What has been your best experience?
You know, it's kind of across the board. Like yesterday I went to this store and it was an Indian family, a mom, a dad, and a daughter. And they were like, did you know that there's a River Edge Indian Cultural Committee? And I said, I had no idea. And they said, well, do you want to come to our Diwali Day in November? And I said, yes, I would love to. Yeah, so.
talk about a block of voters that probably doesn't get paid attention to?
At all, ever, yeah.
Wow.
And, but then yesterday I was on this street right near my house, and one after another, these 3 guys really like slammed me on like things that were wrong with the town. And I listened, and like taking it seriously and researching what they had to say.
Yeah.
So that
And why
was,
do you think they were slamming you? Was it just
I think they don't want to go to a council meeting because they're not gonna get listened to for a half hour there because people are busy, and they kind of had my ear, and maybe I'll do something. Okay, you know, it's that kind of thing. So, yeah. And I think people feel less intimidated. Like I was talking to this 89-year-old lady 2 days ago, and she said, you know, I went to one council meeting and the woman talked down to me and then I stopped talking, but you don't intimidate me. And I was like, okay, whatever.
I can see how you can develop a rapport very quickly with your constituents.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. And so, good, you know? Because I don't know everything about my town at all. Like, I don't. If you want to tell me something, I'm listening and I'll try to do something.
And I'm sure there are some old sages in the town that can tell you everything.
Like this one guy was telling me yesterday that my town used to really be blue collar. It was built for the GIs.
Well, I can see that.
And it's not anymore. And he was saying, you know, back then, you would have guys come home on the weekend and drink too much beer, and you really needed cops to break up the domestic violence.
Wow.
And now you don't, it's not going to happen now. And we have more cops. And they're like sitting around or whatever, doing nothing, getting paid a lot of money. It's like, it's ridiculous. I said, okay, you know, take that on board and think about it. Yeah.
So the police force has grown.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of the guys complained about that yesterday, actually.
Too many cops. Most towns wouldn't complain about that.
I mean, it's such a safe town, you know.
It's amazing, that whole little enclave, how close it is to Manhattan.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this area?
Not really.
You could probably describe it better than
It's like
geographically.
8 miles from the GW Bridge.
Oh,
So
okay.
if there's no traffic, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get in. If there's bad traffic, it's an hour plus. Just depends.
Right.
That's super close. So a lot of people commute.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
And it's very densely populated, but then people really have yards and lawns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
Beautiful, a lot of parks, a lot of trees, deer, coyotes. It's really nice.
That is nice.
But then one other guy was telling me yesterday that the beautification committee, and I don't know if this is true or not, or if this is just his assumption, has been pushing people to use more pesticides on their lawns. And then I'm so oblivious about a lot of stuff. I was reading about it this morning. Pesticides are really bad for you. This guy in California just won a $289 million lawsuit against Monsanto.
How are they encouraging people to use pesticides? I mean, is there a flyer?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's even true. I'll have to find out.
And there is a beautification committee.
Yeah. And it's relatively new. I think it started in 2003. So it wouldn't shock me if they were telling people, you know.
Wow. That's scary.
Yeah.
Women of America, this is your house. And this year, pro-choice Democratic women are taking it back with unprecedented numbers and historic momentum. Families with Pam alone has the power and the numbers to flip key districts
and change the balance of power in Washington. We can and we must. Because when Congress falls in line behind a recklessly dangerous president, we say, not in my house.
When a decade of progress is erased with the stroke of a pen, we say, not in my house. When we see Republicans strip us of the right to control our own bodies, we say, not in my house. When we speak truth to power, we see change we never thought possible.
When we raise record sums to support Democratic, pro-choice women candidates, we take that power into our own hands.
Since 2016, the number of women candidates looking to run for House seats has doubled.
Because it is our house. When we see our house lead us toward a darker future, we see red.
But if every Emily's List candidate wins this year, we see blue. Emily's List has launched candidates in over 60 U.S. House districts.
We only need to win 23 seats to flip the House.
And Emily's List has already endorsed more than enough candidates in Republican districts to do just that. Like me.
And me.
And me. Women alone have the power to take back the House for the progressive agenda. That's just that.
So please join us.
Volunteer, donate, run. Because a woman's place is in this house.
Emily's List President, Stephanie Sherill.
Program for you today. There is so much going on and so much to talk about. But first I have a little bit of business. I know you are all following what is going on with the Kavanaugh nomination very closely, because I know you all. So, as many of you know, at 1 o'clock today, women all across the country are joining in a national walkout and moment of solidarity organized by our dear partners, NARAL, Planned Parenthood, and many, many other organizations to show that we stand with Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and Deborah Ramirez and all the private acceptable folks. It is also why you see me and many of my staff and candidates and many of you wearing black in solidarity with women across the country. So, because of our time and logistics here, not all of us can walk out at 1 o'clock. Though we do understand if it's something that you feel you really need to do. I will say, however, at 1 o'clock, we will be pausing this program and standing for a moment of silence in solidarity instead. each and every one of you who are running this year for taking this on. We know that these races are tough. You're doing everything you need to do, and we're going to make sure we do everything we can to make sure you win in November. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, a champion of Emily's List, and the work that we're doing to take back the House less than 7 weeks from today. He has committed his energy to helping deliver the majority in the U.S. House, understanding the true danger we face as a nation. We are so grateful to him and his extraordinary staff, and so fortunate to have him as a leader in this effort. So please join me in welcoming your former mayor, Michael Bernard.
Seriously, I do think it's only right that we're having a fundraiser for a group that's dedicated to electing women the same week that the Senate is expected to hold a hearing about a Supreme Court nominee who has been accused of illegal sexual misconduct. Now, I believe Dr. Buzzy Ford and Anita Hill are absolutely right when they say, before the Senate holds a vote, time should be taken to conduct a nonpartisan and professional investigation into the allegations. And that's all the more true as additional accusations and questions are raised. But until a thorough investigation occurs, the only Senate vote that would respect women and the rule of law is no. Many of us, however, there's already enough evidence to oppose this nomination. The Constitution gives the President of the United States the authority to nominate judges, but it also gives the Senate the authority to reject them. And I believe the Senate should use that veto authority only in exceptional circumstances, but given that Judge Kavanaugh has cast doubt on the validity of Roe v. Wade and given his extremist reading of the Second Amendment, I believe this is one of those cases. As many of you know, I've long been an active supporter of women's right to make her own reproductive choices. When I was elected mayor many years ago, one of the first things we did was to make sure that all hospitals in the city teach OBGYN residents reproductive care, including how to safely perform abortions, something that we did amid much criticism. We also increased access to emergency contraception, which helped us dramatically reduce unwanted pregnancies, particularly among teens. At the same time, women's health and choice have been an important part of my foundation's focus. To me, it's very simple. A woman's right to choose is a fundamental American right, and it is the law of the land. Some politicians, for reasons I just cannot understand. It's hard for me to believe that things would be a lot different if we had more women holding political office. Particularly since I have two daughters who have their own strong political views. And that's why Emily's List is such an important organization today. I've been glad to support Emily's List over the years, and this year the stakes are higher than ever. Thanks to so many women who have courageously spoken out, the Me Too movement has shone a spotlight on sexual assault, abuse, and harassment that disgracefully society has tolerated for a very long time. Those brave women deserve our respect and support. But that's not enough. Because the fact is, empowering women also requires electing women to office. As much as women are changing America for the better culturally, women are still vastly underrepresented politically. In fact, women still make up only 20% of Congress. This November is our chance to start changing that. A record number of women have been nominated for Congress, and I'm glad to say that many of them are gun sense candidates, and I'd like to particularly mention Lucy McBath from Georgia, who is with us today and has worked very closely with every town for gun safety and primaries is only half the battle. We are here today because we want not just to nominate, but to elect a record number of women to Congress. Now, many of you know I'm an independent, and I've never been a particularly partisan person. But 2 years ago, I did give a speech at the Democratic National Convention, arguing that the then Republican candidate, Donald Trump, was unsuited for the job. Unfortunately, I have been proven correct. And yet, Republicans in Congress have refused to stand up to this administration. They've shown about as much courage as a cowardly lion, and that's being unfair to the cowardly lion. Republicans have had 2 years to show they could govern responsibly, and they failed miserably. Instead, they're pandering to the extreme right of the party, and that includes trying to shut down Planned Parenthood, an organization that I've long funded and supported. There are only 43 more days until the election. I've committed $80 million to help Democrats this cycle. And I'm partnering with Democrats to help female candidates across the country get elected to Congress. Supporting women candidates this cycle that has ever been before. Because if we're going to win, it's going to be women that get us there, and I want to do my part, and I expect you to do your part as well. We've got to get our country back on track. And that starts with all of us going to the polls, and getting our friends and family to go, and donating, and volunteering, and getting involved. This is a all hands on deck situation. We have to exercise our rights as Americans so that the America we know and love continues its forward march towards a more perfect union. We can do it, but only if we do it together. Thank you all.
She was the first ever winner of our Gabrielle Giffords Rising Star Award in 2013, and she has been inspiring us ever since. I will tell you, I have been in a lot of rooms over the years now when people first heard her speak. And you know, they always know they're part of something special. The energy, the inspiration, and the fire that Stacey Abrams brings as it powering down. Stacey's running for governor of Georgia. And here's the thing you need to know about her home state. Democrats typically have a real problem there. They call it a 200,000 vote problem, which is what we keep losing by. But we keep doing the same thing over and over again, which I think is the definition of insanity. Stacey knew what needed to be done. That expand the electorate, get all the people involved. So she took that on and fought to register hundreds of thousands of new voters. And in this year's primary, I'm proud to say 34,700 primary. Couldn't be prouder to be with her, so please welcome my friend and Georgia's next governor, Stacey.
So indeed, in 2014, Emily's List invited me to give a speech. And I arrived and saw Nancy Pelosi and Barbara Mikulski and thought, what am I doing in this room? Because they put me at the end. I'm like, this is just me. I thought this was an award. But it was not the first time I've been with Emily's List. Because Emily's List had been there for me before I knew I needed them. Because they helped elect women in the state of Georgia. Women who fought when reproductive choice was under fire. When Republicans took every single seat in our constitutional offices. And the day I became minority leader, we lost every statewide office. We lost a majority, a supermajority in the Senate, and they were close in the House. And as some of you heard me say, when I stood for the office, I said, please elect me, my colleagues, because I'm very good at being a minority. And now I stand before you seeking to be the minority of one, because I will be the first Black woman to ever serve as governor in the history of the singularity of my opportunity. I say that because I intend to be the first, but not the last. And I say that here because Emily's List is about creating pathways to opportunity. But in a year like this year, it's not just the pathway, it's the person behind it. Because what Emily's List did for me, what it has done for women across this country, is give us the power to tell our stories. Because we're in a day and an age when our humanity is under attack. Where the question of who we are, we've been told, is not to be part of the public conversation. When I talk about my younger brother who is grappling with drug addiction and incarceration, I'm shushed by those who say, you don't talk about that. That's dirty laundry, keep it in the room. But I have to talk about it because my brother's also a victim of mental illness that goes untreated and untalked about because of the stigma we put around it. And Emily's List has made it comfortable for us to stand up and tell his truth. I'm talking about it because I've got friends around this country who are running for office, not hiding their abortions, but talking about reproductive health as the reason they are able to stand for office because they are able to make a choice about their lives. I'm in a little bit of debt because I take care of my parents and my niece and my grandmother, and when they tried to shame me for it, I stood up and declared absolutely I'm in debt, but it is my responsibility to make sure no one else has to follow in my footsteps. That's why I'm on the government. When we see women and men being pushed into the shadows and their children stripped from them because they lack the paperwork to declare their humanity, we have to have candidates who are speaking up and standing up for them as well. That's who we are as Americans, not the sham that we see today. I stand here today because I want to celebrate the humanity of America. And in the Deep South, we have a lot of good to get done. Because we're a place that for too long has hidden in the shadows from truth. We are the origin of Standard Ground and Jim Crow and too many deaths at the hands of cops who go unpunished. But we're also the place where you can be reborn and have new things happen and know that it will spread across our country. My friend Lucy McBath, who is running for Congress in Georgia, knows that it is critical that stand your ground, stand no more. That is why she's running. And my friend Paulette Jordan is running in Idaho because it is too long that we have left Native Americans out of the national conversation. And we all stand together, locked arm in arm, as we stand against the scourge of sexual violence in our country and the blaming of the victim that must end today. That is why I stand with Emily's List because Emily's List stands with me. And she stands with you. And she stands with women who do not know that they need her. Because the voices that are lifted up in Congress are the same voices that begin at school boards and city councils, county commissions. Those voices that get louder and louder as they stand in the state legislature. They get louder and louder as they run for the Senate, and they run for lieutenant governor, and they become the attorney general, and they become the governors of our state, and they become the senators and our house members, and eventually, by God, they become the president of the United States. To express our gratitude, but it also taught me to express my expectation. And here's what I expect. I graduated from high school in Georgia in 1991. I was a valedictorian of my high school. I was very proud of myself. Had nothing to do with it, but I was very proud of myself. And as valedictorian, you get invited to meet the governor of Georgia. I was excited about that, but I was more excited because you got to go to the governor's mansion, and I watched a lot of Dynasty as a child. So, like Blake Carrington was there, I was so happy. And that morning, my mother and my father and I went outside, and we got on public transit to get to the governor's mansion because there were no cars in my family. We didn't have the money for a car. And we didn't think anything of it, but in the South, not having a car is a stigma. It means that you're too poor to have your own transportation. But I wasn't aware that I was supposed to be ashamed of how I got to the governor's mansion. So my mom and dad and I got on the bus, and we get off the bus and we walk across the street, and we get to these long black gates that run the length of the governor's mansion. And we walk between those gates up to the guard station, staying out of the ways of the cars that are coming in. And when we get to the guard station, the guard looks at me, and he looks at my parents, and he says, "This is a private event, you don't belong here." And my father said, "No, this is my daughter Stacy. She's one of the valedictorians." But he doesn't check his checklist. He doesn't ask my mother for the invitation she has tucked in her purse. Instead, he looks over my shoulder and he sneers at the bus because he's telling himself a story about my humanity. He's telling himself a story about the people on that bus and about their worthiness to be in such an august space. And he decides at that moment that he's going to double down on his decision making, and he looks at my parents again and he says, "Look, I told you this is a private event. You don't belong here." Now I want to run after the bus, but my mother has my arm at a death grip. And my parents were raising me to understand that you don't let someone tell you who you are. And they began to engage him in a very vigorous discussion where he started to reconsider his life and making decision skills and whether or not he wanted to be at work today. And finally he checks his checklist and he lets us inside. But I tell you this because the thing of it is I do not remember meeting the governor of Georgia. I do not recall meeting a single one of my fellow valedictorians from 180 school districts. What I remember about that day is a man standing in front of the most powerful place in Georgia, looking at me and telling me I don't belong. But with Emily's List beside me, with this room behind me, and standing shoulder to shoulder with women across this country who know who we are and know what we're capable of, on November 6th, I plan to open those gates wide so no one ever doubts that they belong.
Hi everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be here. I want endless leadership roles. So I'm here in DC with my colleagues, and we are fighting to protect our Supreme Court. Americans deserve to know the character of the people that sit on the highest court in our land, and women who speak out and share their stories deserve to be heard and respected and not bullied and not disregarded. So there is no question we are at an inflection moment in the history of our country. This is certainly a time that is challenging each of us to look in a mirror and ask ourselves, who are we? Who are we as a country? And I think part of the answer to all of us who are the supporters and who make up Emily's List, I think the answer that we all know partly is we are better than this. We're better than what we're seeing. And we know we're better. We're better than children and parents being torn apart and put in cages. We know we are better than $1 trillion in tax cuts for corporations while the middle class is left behind. We are better than having a Supreme Court nominee who wants to interfere with a woman's constitutional right to make her own healthcare decisions. And we know these are unprecedented times, and therefore these times require unprecedented action. So the election is only 44 days from today, and the work being done by Emily's List could not be more important. We've already made history this cycle, and it's so exciting. We have more female nominees for governor and the U.S. House of Representatives than ever before in history. But I know that Emily's List isn't just satisfied by nominations. We want inaugurations. And we have a chance to elect a historic number of women to office. Women like Jackie Rosen and Kirsten Sinema to the United States Senate. Women like Stacey Abrams, who of course is running for governor of Georgia. She's going to be speaking, and she will make history when she is elected the next governor of the great state of Georgia. We have women like Deirdre DeGier, who is running to be Iowa's Secretary of State. And she's already the first Black woman to win a statewide nomination in Iowa ever. And we can elect brilliant women to the House, like Katie Porter in California, and Lauren Underwood in Illinois, and Lucy McBath in Georgia, and Johanna Hayes in Connecticut, and Ayanna Preston in Massachusetts, and I could go on and on. But finally, I'll just say this. I think the point is also to recognize that years from now, our children and our grandchildren, they're going to look at us. And they're going to ask us this question, which is, where were you during that inflection moment? And what I know is that we, each of us who is here right now, we are going to be able to say not just how we felt, but what we did. We will say that we wrote checks for these candidates and gave them all the support they deserve. We will say that we made phone calls and emailed and tweeted and texted. We will say that we walked precincts and we knocked on doors to remind everyone to register to vote. And we took them with us to the polls. So friends, let's use this time to rededicate ourselves to each other and to this fight. And then let's get out there and let's get to work.
Our program will resume shortly.
Crowd of women outside.
It was like the first time you stepped away and speak.
Yeah.
So she has the ability to focus in on a topic that is important in this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know how many women are supposed to do it today?
Also, storytelling is very important in connecting with people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. God. So bad.
I think I did. Thank you.
So what do you do?
I'm a student. I go to law school.
You said that, I think. Yeah. What kind of law do you want to do?
I'm interested in election law, but I'm kind of exploring different paths. So I just started like 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's early then.
Never doubt that you are valuable, that you are very valuable, powerful, and deserve every opportunity in the world. Every opportunity in the world, every opportunity in the world, every opportunity in the world, and every chance to pursue your own dreams. Every chance to pursue your own dreams. And deserving every chance and opportunity in the world to pursue pursue and achieve your own dreams.
One day after the inauguration, women took to the streets.
You have the power! I think women got so involved in 2017 because they saw real impact on their lives, and that if they wanted to see change in this country, they needed to be the ones leading.
There, hundreds of thousands of people have gathered to demand equal rights and around the world.
Today, the day after Donald Trump became their president, they changed.
2017 was the year of the women.
The highest opening weekend ever for a movie made by a female director. She was won.
98% of black women voted against Boy Moore.
She was given an explanation.
Blaming my time. Talkers change actions. All about that.
Nevertheless, she persisted.
2017 was just the beginning.
New day is on the horizon.
2019 needs to be an even better year.
From the Me Too movement to the looming midterm elections, there was new momentum.
Women have stepped up. They have organized, and many are preparing to run for office. And in 2018, they're going to win.
This year, Emily's List has seen a surge of interest in running for office.
To knock down the wall, actually, in its Washington office to make room for more staff.
This is it.
This is it. Focusing on the midterm election.
This could be a big shot at the passion factor. It's there. Women are emerging as an ever-growing source of political power.
We have our voices, and we are not going anywhere.
This is a revolution. For those who stood up against this administration, for everyone who's 72, for everyone who's been counting out its time in the country.
What counts? The possibility that more women will be in elected office than ever before.
What counts?
Wait, it's something we're good at.
Since 1985, Emily's List has trained over 10,000 women to run for office and helped elect 116 women to the House. 43 women to the U.S. Senate. 12 governors and over 800 state and local office.
What counts?
Over 30 years of preparing for this moment. Over $500 million raised since 1985. What counts is the strength of our numbers increasing every day. Because we have a tipping point. You just need it.
One more story.
One more voice, one more district to turn the tide once and for all.
And change politics for years to come.
What counts?
2018.
This is our moment. Count on it.
Count it.
Count on it.
Please welcome Emily's List President, Stephanie Sherill.
But I'm so pleased to have you all here today with us. I'm just talking to Lizzie too. Where's Lizzie? Who put so much work into We got to talk about this moving forward. It's extraordinary. It's the moment that will end the energy that is building. I look forward to this day every year, but especially this year, because we're not here today to talk about Donald Trump and all the bad news today. That's not what this is about. We're here to talk about how we're going to win in 43 days. That's what we're going to do. Will not surprise any of you that I played high school basketball. And when I went on the court, my coach did not pull us aside and say, okay, look, team you're up against is bigger and they're just playing better than you and they definitely are better prepared and they have nicer uniforms. So, just go out there, give it your best, maybe you'll get lucky. This is not the speech I got. At all. In fact, the speech I got going on in court was this. You got this. You are ready. You have been practicing. You know how to beat this team. Now go out there and win. are playing to win. And boys, we have the team to do it. We are so excited about so many of our candidates. Debbie Mucarsel-Powell, who's on our panel today. She's running in Florida's 26, and as you know, this is one of those districts, Hillary Clinton won, that's still represented by a Republican Congress. So we knew we had a good shot at winning this, even if we could find the right candidate. And then Debbie said this. A mom and a nonprofit leader who helped expand access to health care in underserved parts of Miami. And we knew we had the perfect person to do this. And she's getting it done every single day. Well, just like the women in Georgia. You know, we've already talked about the change that's coming in Georgia. And Lucy McBath is a big part of that. Her journey into politics started when her son was tragically murdered. That senseless act of violence led Lucy to fight for social justice full time. And now she's running in Georgia's 6th congressional district to continue that fight. And we could not be prouder of what she's done. We need her voice in Congress. Mikie Sherill, who's with us today. She's our fan club. And she's a veteran who's running to represent New Jersey's 11th. And honestly, before Mikie got in, this is the kind of district that we don't even much looked at it typically or even recruit. In fact, it's been represented by the same Republican member of Congress for almost 25 years. He dropped out when Mikie got in. Woo! And now he's facing the top 2 red to blue pickup. And we're seeing the same energy happening in Virginia's 10th congressional district, where Jennifer Wexton is running against Republican stalwart Barbara Comstock. And Jennifer's making it happen. So in fact, Virginia is precisely where the energy of the Women's March started turning into electoral wins for us. When 11 out of the 15 House of Delegate seats Democrats flipped in 2017 were won by Emily's List candidates. Democrats did fall just 1 seat short of taking back the majority in that election. But here's the thing. Medicaid expansion passed anyway. And Jennifer was instrumental in doing that in the state Senate. So, candidates are winning one state, one city, one district at a time, bringing new voices and new stories and new ways of doing things into this process. And this is happening all across the country. In the states I mentioned, and in states like Nevada, which could have the first ever woman majority legislature in the history of this country. And in Texas, where half of the people who showed up to vote in the primaries this year have never voted in a midterm election. And I need to tell you all that sort of promised Leader Pelosi that Emily's List would deliver the House majority. So, my friends, that's 23 women who need to flip seats. Hey, a few men can win too. I know you got some good ones here in New York. We need to make sure they win. But just think, a couple of years ago, this wouldn't have even seemed possible. Not just taking back the majority in the House, but taking back the Senate and taking over these governorships too. But today we can see that this can happen because this is the kind of change we're looking to create. And it is more than just possible. We're making it happen. See more women than ever on the ballot this year. At Emily's List, we've endorsed a record number of women running this cycle, including more than 500 women running at the state and local level. running in every race in the country. So last time I checked, there are men running in nearly all the races across the country. We are more than 50% of the population. We're getting it. We're getting it. See, they're running because they see what's happening in the country and in their communities, and they're not waiting around for someone to come in and tell them how to fix it. And fix it, we must. The stakes could not be higher under this Trumpian world order. He has all the resources to do his bidding, and I would argue that democracy itself is at stake. Now, history is important here, and you can read about how fascism in Europe bubbled up after World War I. And then you look around today at these dictator-type men who are driving us awfully fast toward a similar environment. It's not just our democracy, but Western democracy that could be in peril in this election. And the world is watching to see if we have it in ourselves as Americans to turn this around. So that is what we are going to do. Confidence and a great sense of hope, I believe we will succeed. With the kind of energy that is out there and then here, if all of us keep fighting for the change we want to see, just like people have done every time our values in this country have been tested, and just like they've done every time we've made real progress. We have a lot on our plate. I mean, just ask my staff. If you can find them, I haven't seen most of them in months. We have more than 42,000 women, 42,000 women who have come to us saying, I want to run. I may not know when, I may not know what for yet. I want to run. So we've been pretty busy. But the point is, it might feel like we're asking you to do more than you ever done before. And that's because we are. But no, we are asking the same of ourselves every single day. We are going to take this country, which was already great, and make it even better with women's leadership across the country. About what the impact is going to be of all these new women coming in the process this year. The women are running, they stepped forward in the future, getting ready to run, and they are marching and organizing and voting for the very first time because they believe, and I believe, we will win in November and win even more after that. So, as my coach would say, we are ready, we know what to do, we just got to get out there and we're going to win this thing. We're going to take back the House, we're going to take back the Senate, we will save our democracy, and Donald Trump, we're coming after you next. Join with our sister organizations around this country in a moment of solidarity. But before I do that, I would like to ask our candidates who are running for office to join me on the stage to do this together, hand in hand. It is important for all of us to stand together. So each table has a sign curled up in the middle. I'm going to ask you to have someone take that sign and join us. I'm going to ask everybody to stand with me and with women and the survivors across this great nation who must be word, in a moment of silence and solidarity, we must believe our survivors.
At this time, please welcome Emily Kane, Lucy McBath, Debbie Mucarsel-Powell, Mikie Sherill, and Jennifer Wexton to the stage.
And yes, that does make me Emily from Emily's List. Great conversation starter, but not for me today. Because today, I know that you want to hear from our candidates. And I am so excited that we're able to bring today 4 of our many all-star House candidates that are going to be flipping seats across this country this November with your help and help of their teams. We are, because we're running a little short on time, I am not going to do the big introduction. I'm going to ask each of them to start off by, well, first of all, thank you all for being here. We're so glad. Let's give them a round of applause. I want to start with a quick intro. Could you just please share with us, tell us a little about your race, tell us about who you are, and why you made this decision. Senator, would you like to start?
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Wexton, and I'm going to repeal and replace Barbara Comstock. This is the district that runs from just outside of Washington, D.C., all the way to the Shenandoah Valley. It's a district that Hillary Clinton won by 10 points, and Barbara Comstock managed to win by 6. She has overperformed every time she's run. For me, I serve in the state Senate now. I've been serving there since 2014. And for me, seeing Donald Trump and what he's been doing in the White House, seeing the attacks on women, the attacks on immigrants, attacks on the free press, attacks on the judiciary, attacks on the rule of law, intelligence operations, federal workers, go down the list. For me, I did some soul searching and concluded that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I don't want to look back at my kids and say I didn't do everything I possibly could to stop what was happening at this time in our history. That's why I'm here.
Thank you so much, Senator. Mikie, from across the river, tell us about New Jersey 11.
Hi, I'm Mikie Sherill, and I'm running in New Jersey's 11th district. So it's a good room for New Jersey. I am a former Navy helicopter
Yeah.
But again, it was seen as kind of too hard to do. So I went to New York. I came to New York to see a friend of a friend who was involved in politics, and he said, Emily's list wants to run someone in the 11th District of New Jersey. I'm going to pass on your resume. And he did. Karen DeFilippi came up into my dining room shortly thereafter, and we were off to the races. So it was that kind of incredible support that I received from Emily's list that really got this campaign started and has really helped me to put out the type of race that saw Representative Freeland Heinzen decide to retire. And now I am running against Senator Weber. And I, as I like to say, I did not really work hard to have Representative Freeland Heinzen retire so I could hand the seat to Senator Weber, who has worked very hard to defund Planned Parenthood. He's worked hard to have an amendment to our Constitution to ban gay marriage. He refused to vote against conversion therapy for LGBT youth. And he's even refused to provide health insurance for people suffering from opioid addiction. So he's not somebody that we need in the 11th District. He's not somebody that you need in Congress. We don't want to export him. So thank you so much for all of your support, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mucarsel-Powell, and I'm running in Florida's 26th Congressional District. Go Florida. Always Florida. The district covers parts of Miami-Dade County and all of the Florida Keys. I'm running against an incumbent, Carlos Curbelo, who's seeking his third term, who has gotten an F rating from Planned Parenthood, an F rating from the League of Conservation Voters, an F rating from the NAACP, yet he seems to think that he's a moderate. I come from a family of very strong women. I'm the youngest of 4 sisters, and I was raised by my single mother, who brought my sisters and I from Ecuador when I was very young. I was 14 at the time, and my mother didn't speak the language. We didn't have anything. We had to figure out how to make ends meet. We all knew that we had to work, cleaning houses. My sister started working at a fast food restaurant. I started working at the age of 15, selling donuts. I actually liked that job. Minimum wage, and I was very fortunate that through my hard work and the opportunities that this country has provided to me, I was able to get a scholarship to attend college, get a master's degree, and become the associate dean at FIU at the first public medical school in South Florida. I dedicated my career to healthcare and education because that's where I've seen the greatest need in my community. I'm very proud to say that I was part of a team that created the Neighborhood Health Program, which brings medical students and nursing students to provide very needed care in some very low-income areas in Miami-Dade County. And as we've been working to expand access to healthcare and lower costs, I was watching what this administration was doing and what Congress was doing, and they were doing nothing. But worse than that, they were passing policies that were making it harder and harder for families to make it. When Carlos Curbelo took that vote to repeal the Affordable Care Act in a district that has the second largest number of people that depend on the ACA to get their health care, I knew I had to step in. But the race didn't get as personal as after the Vegas shooting. I lost my father to gun violence. And it was a moment that really changed my life forever. And I can tell you that if Congress is not willing to do what it takes to protect families in my community and in the United States of America, then it's time to change Congress. It's why I'm running. As a Latina immigrant, we know as women how hard it is and how much we need to work to get things done. And I wouldn't be here without the help of Stephanie and Emily's list. They were the first to support my race, the first to endorse, and then everything happened afterwards. So thank you to Emily's list and Stephanie and everyone.
I'm Lucy McBath. I'm the mother of Jordan Davis, the young man who was shot and killed simply for playing loud music in his car in Jacksonville, Florida. And once that happened, I started asking the very hard questions to our federal legislators and our state legislatures and clergy and civic leaders, and I was able to do that as a gun violence prevention advocate, asking those very difficult questions: how did this happen to my family? Why is it continuing to happen around the country? I've walked the halls of Washington, I've talked with our federal legislators, I've given my story hundreds of thousands of times, and what I began to recognize as I was speaking to our federal legislators, they would look at me and they would say, "Oh, Mrs. McBath, we're so sorry for your loss. We offer you our deepest condolences, but the politics just aren't there yet." And for me, hearing those words, they were just as devastating as the night the words were spoken to me that Jordan's been gunned down for playing loud music in his car. And then I watched Parkland happen. And those children that were murdered were the same age as my son when he was murdered, but yet they were standing up, fighting for their own lives because our federal legislators were refusing to protect them. And then I watched President Trump on television with our federal legislators, joking and laughing about the NRA gun lobby. And President Trump says, "Oh, don't be afraid of the NRA gun lobby." And within 24 hours, he flips. And I understood why. Because I understood that the NRA gun lobby paid $30 million to put President Trump in office, and they have a seat in the White House. I'll tell you, I don't think there's anything more powerful than a mother that's standing up, fiercely fighting for the legacy of her child, and also to make sure what happened to us doesn't happen to anyone in my district and anyone in the state of Georgia, and that's why I stood up.
Georgia to say she wanted to run for office, thinking about the state legislature, and here she is now. And every one of these women has an extraordinary story. But let's get into some of the issues, because I know you are all out and about every day, talking with your future constituents, earning their support, and they're covering a lot of topics. And Debbie, I'm going to start with you. Down in Florida, you've seen firsthand that Florida cannot wait to act on climate change, something that I know is very important to you. Can you talk to us about how you're going to fight back against the special interests and the Republicans' dangerous agenda that are really giving away the environment at the expense of our children?
So I talk about this all the time. You know, my district covers the Everglades and all of Monroe County. Our entire livelihood depends on a healthy environment. And we have never seen what we're seeing now, the red algae, which has been the worst in the past decade, and the toxic green blue algae that's coming out from discharges from Lake Okeechobee. Now, we've been under Republican control in the state of Florida for about 20 years, and what's happened is, under Governor Scott, he has completely gutted all the funding for the South Florida Water Management District, and also lifted all the regulations. And I know that we can't wait to take action. I had the experience of working for about 3 years with Coral Restoration Foundation in Monroe County, and I saw the effects of climate change and the warming of the oceans. We have a serious issue right now, not just with the red algae, the green blue algae, but now there's a serious disease that's affecting our coral reefs. It's affecting about 50% of the coral reefs. They're dying within 7 to 10 days. They're not getting the funding or the support, the scientists that are looking into this problem. And without our reefs, and let me tell you some really interesting facts. The Florida coral reefs are the 3rd largest barrier reef in the entire world, and they're the only live barrier reef in our country. We have to protect them. The fisheries depend on them. So there are a lot of things that we can do at the federal level, including funding, but we have to act now.
Thank you so much. You know, we heard Stephanie mention earlier that you were part of the legal fight to expand Mikie in Virginia. Congratulations. Thank you so much for doing that. And I know you are a long-time advocate and champion for expanding access to health care, particularly when it comes to reproductive justice and ending the opioid crisis, not just in Virginia, but in our country. What perspective will you bring to Congress based on your service and your work and what you're seeing to really keep this fight going and take it to the next level when it comes to healthcare?
Thank you so much. My background, I was actually a prosecutor for a number of years before going into the state senate. I was also an attorney for abuse and neglected kids and did a lot of work in the mental health system. So I saw how mental health and how healthcare generally really bleeds into all these other areas. Because of the amazing races that we had, the elections that we had in Virginia in 2017, and I know many of you in this room really were instrumental in helping us with our mini blue wave in Virginia, which I think gave hope to the whole nation about what we can do in the post-Trump era. We flipped 15 seats in the House of Delegates and elected all 3 statewide by broad majorities. Our new governor, Ralph Northam, is a pediatric neurologist, which was instrumental in also helping us to expand Medicaid. We have been trying in Virginia for the last 5 years to expand Medicaid, and we have sent over $5 million away from our state every single day as a result of our failure to do so. It's been over $10 billion that we've foregone. And the health of our residents has really suffered, and our rural hospitals, many of them are operating in the red and were in danger of closing. But Republicans in the General Assembly flatly refused to do anything about this issue. So it was really top of people's minds when during the 2017 elections. All of our candidates ran very coordinated campaigns talking about health care, and we were able to just barely squeak by in the state Senate, but in the House of Delegates to pass Medicaid expansion resoundingly. And we became the 33rd state in the U.S. to do that. Now, in Congress, that's still going to be a big issue. I mean, that's still the top thing that we're hearing about when we're going around on the doors. People are really concerned, and Republicans in Congress, Barbara Comstock included, have done nothing but attempt to sabotage the Affordable Care Act and people's access to health care. Even though the plain repeal legislation failed, they repealed the individual mandate as a part of the tax bill, and as a result, in Virginia, our premiums for our citizens are going to go up by as much as 64%. So we need people who are going to go to Congress and look for solutions, not just grandstand and sabotage. So that's something that I'm definitely going to do when I get.
Well, I will say, when you started talking about and hearing about healthcare, we had heads nodding along this entire panel. I know it's something you're all hearing about. Lucy, when you're campaigning and you think about the issue of healthcare, why is it so personal for you that you're taking on this message and this work to Congress?
I was a flight attendant for Delta Airlines for 30 years, and I had the benefit of very, very good, group insurance. And I'm also a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So I understand the importance and the nature of making sure that everyone in my district have access to affordable health care. The incumbent that I'm running against, Karen Handel, when she worked for the Susan G. Komen Foundation, tried to defund Planned Parenthood, and thankfully she did not. But I intend to make sure that we're protecting women's ability to have affordable health care. 2.4 million people in this country depend on Planned Parenthood sometimes as their only means of viable health care. And so when a woman in particular doesn't have access to affordable health care for screenings and things that she needs to live a good quality of life, that hurts her economically. If she cannot provide for herself and her family, then that's extended beyond the family to the community and the nation at large. And that's the reason why I'm really going to make sure that I really work diligently to make sure that we're expanding Medicaid, making sure we're making affordable health care accessible to as many people in my district, as many people in Georgia as possible, because that is the right thing to do, and that's what they deserve.
You were a little shy in your introduction. You left out that you're a Navy veteran and that you actually flew helicopters. That's pretty awesome, right? I remember that. And Mikey's one of the many veterans and women veterans who are running the cycle. And Mikie, you worked hard every day then and now to keep our country safe. As you bring your perspective and your experience when it comes to national security, how are you best positioned to lead and have an impact on such an important topic that affects all of us every day when you get to Congress?
Well, we talk a lot about kitchen table issues in my district, but we're also very aware of the things that are going on across the world because we have many people who work in jobs where they travel quite extensively. And we're facing some of the largest national security threats that our nation has seen in decades. We have the growing threat of Russia. We have the growing threat of Iran. We have issues going on in Syria and Yemen. We even have a growing discord throughout our relationship with our traditional allies. So these are all things that take incredible skill and understanding of the regions to manage. And we're doing this right at a time when we've, let a lot of people from the State Department go. We haven't fully staffed our State Department. So it's critical that we elect people to Congress that understand these areas across the world. And I've served all over the world, throughout Europe and the Middle East. And I think it's also critical when we're thinking of moving forward on a lot of issues that we do so in a bipartisan manner. I hear all the time when you're asking what are you hearing on the doors, what's going on in your district. People in my district want Congress to work again. I think we really understand that we've reached an all-time low. I come from a background of criminal justice reform. The Koch brothers and the ACLU agree on the bill that has to get through Congress. We haven't seen that pass. About 90% of people in this country agree with universal background checks for gun purchases. We have not seen that pass. We have got to get Congress working again, and we've got to do so with bipartisan legislation. And so I tell people, in my district, when I was a Navy helicopter aircraft commander, I never flew on Democratic missions or Republican missions. I flew on missions with people from across this country with very different backgrounds and beliefs, but we all managed to get the job done and the mission accomplished. And that's what we need to see more of in Congress. Absolutely.
So many questions to cover today, but I also want to make sure you all know, and I've got some here in my hand, there are cards on your table. If you have a question you'd like to try to get in the mix, write it down, wave it in the air, and one of our staff members will come and pick up your question. And I'm going to go to one of those audience questions now, and I'll have each of you provide a quick answer. We all shared in that powerful moment of silence. It was powerful for me, it was powerful for all of us. And the question that I got here, I'm so glad it's being asked, which is really, in this moment, how has the Me Too movement, Kavanaugh, all of the engagement of women, as this is not just the year of the woman, but really a year for all women, and you all are representing that. How has that energized and changed really and impacted the nature of your staff, your volunteers, your supporters? How are you seeing it play out? Jennifer, do you want to start?
Sure. Absolutely, because we were kind of on the cutting edge of this in Virginia with our 2017 elections. It gave people a great opportunity to get started and get engaged. We have seen so many women who have come out and who say, I've never been involved, politically involved before, but I can't sit on the sidelines, and I now know that, that I need to speak up or things are not going to go the way that I want. So we have new chapters of Moms Demand. We have women leading indivisible chapters, just amazing women's groups that come together. We have a grassroots group that did a women's forum where there were 700 activists that came to it and have gone back into different districts to continue their work. And all the activists that we saw get engaged and involved in our 2017 races, they didn't go away. They came and visited us in the General Assembly and lobbied for issues that were important to them. One of them being, by the way, passage of the ERA, which Virginia can become the final state to do. And they're staying involved again, and still in the 2018 races. So even though it's wonderful that our message has been consistent throughout all these races, but now I have hundreds and even thousands of new messengers out there spreading it throughout the district, and I think that that's a fantastic thing.
Sure, I think we're all so incredibly excited now. We're hearing about the Year of the Woman. It's been great, but I'm going to take you back a couple months, maybe over a year, to where we started from. Because we started right after the 2016 elections, and a lot of us were pretty down about the prospects of women. This is what I was hearing. I don't know if you can raise money in Manhattan. People don't think a woman can win. I went to an activist in my community, and she said, who is going to support you? I said, well, veterans and women. And she said, don't count on the women. We saw what happened to Hillary. I went down to the DCCC in Washington, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and after a couple good months of raising money, they said, that's funny. Who said you can't run a woman in New Jersey, I guess? So this is where where we started from, right? And here's where we are now. A couple months later, I went to that activist and I said, I know you said women aren't going to support me, but I think this year's different. She said, Mikie, we just had 15,000 women on the Morristown Green for the Women's March. I think this year's a lot different. I heard that women vote how their husbands tell them to vote. We've all heard that. I never saw that because my dad was a Republican and my mom was a Democrat, so I did not personally see that, but that's what we were hearing. And I'll tell you, I've had men now come up in my district and look at me and say, you know what? I'm a lifelong Republican. And Mikie, this year I'm going to vote for you. And I said, well, thanks, I really need that. I need your support. And then they say, well, I've got to support you because otherwise my wife would kill me. So the momentum, the engagement, the enthusiasm is something that a lot of us have never seen before. It's incredibly encouraging, and as we've heard, it lasts. It doesn't, we had the off-year election cycles in New Jersey as well. We just elected the governor, and all those women that started getting engaged in 2017 are right here with us in 2018. So it's been wonderful.
I've had the great fortune of being surrounded by very strong women my entire life as the youngest of 4 sisters. And so I have a campaign manager who's a woman. My entire staff, except for my communications director, they're all women. And I think through this process of running for Congress, we have slowly been finding our voices, and I include myself on that. Because the Me Too movement has allowed some of my staff members, myself, to understand that it's not okay to be assaulted by men. It's not okay to be disrespected in a personal space or in the workplace by someone who holds power. And it's been a process because as a Latin woman growing up in a society where there's so much machismo, things happen to you and you just keep going and you accept them as, well, that's how men are, which is what we've heard over and over again in this country. Well, that is not okay. I have a son, I have 2 daughters, I am bringing them up with the same values of mutual respect and of always speaking up and finding your voice. And that's why I'm really proud that today we had this moment, because every day that we stand together, we move further into a position of power.
Well, I was born in a family of civil rights leaders. My father was Illinois branch president of NYC for over 20 years. I grew up in the struggle. I always laugh and joke and say the very first song I ever learned was "We Shall Overcome," because we were always singing that, and the civil rights leaders and workers were coming to my house as a child, and I didn't understand the implications of that. I didn't understand those experiences, what I was being exposed to, that has a lot to do with what I have become now. And what I would say is I believe that what people consider a credible candidate is changing. The face of a credible candidate is changing now. Just as we fought in the civil rights movement, the Me Too movement also is accelerating the ability for people to stand up for what they believe in. And being in an environment which was so richly diverse, everyone on my staff is very, very diverse. I wanted a rainbow coalition because I understood the only way that I would be able to exert influence and really create change in my district, which is very diverse, is that people have to look like the ones that they want to serve. And so the people that are knocking on the doors have to look like the people that are answering the doors. And so everything that we've been able to do in building movements, civil rights movement, Me Too, Black Lives Matter movement, all of these movements are so crucial in beginning to really create this kind of ideology of we are powerful, we are strong, and our voice truly matters only when we stand up. We go to the ballot box and we encourage the least of these to do the same.
Thank you so much. We would love to talk to all of you for hours. We are getting here towards the end of our panel time, and we are sitting here in a room full of Emily's List. Some of Emily's List's biggest and longest time supporters are here in this room. Can each of you share with us a few comments about what the Emily's List community and support from
present to you as we head into the final 6 weeks of this campaign.
And I'm hoping to be part of that in the future.
Well, I first got involved with Emily's List when I started to think about running for the state legislature. And that was a tough decision for me. It had never been my goal to run for office, but I was watching what the General Assembly and the government in Virginia was doing. This was the time that Republicans had majorities in both houses of the General Assembly, and Republican governor, and they used their majorities to do things like pass voter suppression legislation, repeal one of Virginia's only pieces of gun safety legislation, the one-hand gun among law. So now, Virginia, by the way, is once again the destination for criminals to buy their guns in bulk and then distribute them up and down the 95 corridor. So my apologies for Virginia making you less safe here.
But you have
And of course, you may recall, some of you may have heard a little something about the transnational ultrasounds that were going on at that point. So before I thought about running for the state senate, I went to Emily's List training, and it was so helpful to me. And I remember the trainer said a couple things. She said that really stayed with me. The first thing she said was that women don't wake up in the morning and say, "I'm so awesome, I should tell everybody else how to live." But the other thing that the trainer said was that women have to be asked to run for office. Usually multiple times. The 7 was the number that she said was the average. And if there's one thing that we can thank Donald Trump for, is that women don't have to be asked anymore. Emily's List was there for me before anyone else was, with technical support, with financial support, with training and helping me know what I needed to do to be an effective candidate. And I know that they've done it. So I saw a bunch of candidates up there that you helped elect in Virginia as well. It's fantastic what they're doing, because when women run, we win, and when we win, things improve. We make good laws. Thank you.
So when I was first thinking about running for office, I called some friends of mine on the Hill that I had gone to school with. Now, I went to the Naval Academy, so these friends were Republicans. And I said, I'm thinking of running for office. What should I do? And one of my friends from the academy, she said, you need to get in touch with Emily's List. We don't have that on the Republican side, and boy, do I wish we did. And so, as you heard, shortly thereafter, I met with someone who said Emily's List was interested in the 11th district. And to give you a sense of what it feels like to run for office if you've not done that, it feels like jumping off a cliff, right? You kind of can Google on Amazon if there are any books about running for elected office in New Jersey. There aren't. And so, you're sort of thinking, how does this work? How do I set this up? There's this incredible amount of momentum, engagement, but I don't know how to take advantage of it. And then you get Emily's List on your team. And suddenly you have, Karen coming up in your living room and helping you set up your plan, talking about how you're going to hire consultants, what that even means, how that looks. And then you have Rose from Emily's List coming up and setting up your finance team and your finance plan and helping you hire people. You can start to raise some money. And then they set the goals for you. And they say, this is what it's going to take. This is what a professional campaign looks like. This is how you are going to show everyone in New Jersey that, oh, by the way, you can run a woman in New Jersey. I think we've proven that. So these are the kind of things that you're helping out with, the kind of campaigns you're helping develop, the kind of races you're helping to win. This is what it is. This is what Emily's List does for a first-time candidate. And many of us as women are first-time candidates. We're getting engaged. We've done other things with our lives. So to jump off that cliff, it really takes a strong partner. So it's been instrumental, and I can't thank you all enough for all of your help and work with us.
What does Emily's List mean? Well, look at all of you here today. You're like family to me at this point. I know I've called all of you 1,000 times. I apologize. can talk to Stephanie about this after the lunch, but when I first filed to run for Congress, it was back in August, and we had a devastating hurricane in Monroe County, and Hurricane Irma. And I knew that I was not going to be able to reach my goal for that fundraising quarter, which is so critical to start getting the endorsement and the support so that you can show that you're viable. It is brutal, like Mikie says. It's not easy. You work very hard to reach certain milestones so that you can finally get the support of people across the country for these races. And we were working 7 days a week, and we also had the effects of the hurricane, and I spent a lot of time with my husband, with my kids, with my staff members going down to Monroe to do whatever we could to help some of the families that had been affected. And I was driving back, it was a Friday evening, I'm never going to forget this phone call, and I may get teary-eyed, but we were about to reach the quarter. I knew I wasn't going to meet my goal, and Stephanie called to tell me that they've been watching, they know that we could do this, that we've been working very hard, and that Emily's List was going to be supporting. I can't tell you, my campaign manager was screaming in the car. I was crying on the phone with Stephanie, and I'm thinking, she's going to regret this endorsement. But after that, people started taking notice. And I truly mean it when I say Emily's List has brought all of you to all of us, because I can't tell you how much it means to have the sisterhood of Emily's List. When we have the lowest moments in our campaign, I have Danny Kenham saying, Debbie, you can do this. We've got you. And when I have to prepare for a debate, they're there helping me with the talking points and how to respond, how to find my voice, how to talk about my personal story, which is so hard for a woman sometimes because we need to always talk about our resumes to get noticed and to get respected. And so being part of this network and having all of you here today and all the events that I've been invited to attend, with the support that you've provided me, I can tell you that we're going to win Florida 26, and it's going to be
relationship.
If you were to ask me 6 years ago what I'd be sitting here in front of you as the Democratic nominee for Georgia's 6th Congressional District, I would most definitely tell you you were out of your mind. But here I am. And I will absolutely have to tell you that had it not been for the tremendous support from Emily's List, I would not be here. They've taken what I've been able to do with Every Town for Gun Safety and Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America and elevate my platform, tell my story. And that's what Emily's List continues to do for women like me, tell our stories. We're credible people who've been working in our communities. We've worked in our state, municipalities, we've been, city councils, we've been, working at PTAs. We've been there, we've been in our communities, we've been doing the work that matters. And that's what we know, that's what we believe in. And because of the support that they've been able to give us to help elevate our stories and the work that we're doing around the nation, and their belief in our ability to create and movements of change and do what needs to be done in our state and federal legislatures, that's what really has made the difference for me. I'm so grateful to you. You get a lot of help from a lot of organizations, but from organizations that really believe in the power of the woman. Emily's List has done that.
Thank you so much. Certainly grab a cookie, but that blue envelope is meant to tomorrow. At Emily's List, that means it's already been all hands on deck. But what that means is that our staff are out and about. They are across the country. In 3 weeks, we will deploy nearly 80% of our staff to districts all across the country. They will be side by side with our candidates knocking on doors. They will be stuffing envelopes. They will be making phone calls. They will be sending text messages. They will be rallying volunteers, recruiting more volunteers, and getting out the vote until the polls close. Our staff is going to be out there every single day because we know these women. You've met some of them. We know that every one of these women wakes up in the morning not because she always dreamed of being in Congress, because she didn't. Every one of these women wakes up in the morning because they have a kid. Maybe they have a kid, and that child needs some important piece of healthcare system to work for them. Maybe they have a neighbor who's elderly, and they want to make sure that Medicare is going to be there for them for years to come. Some of them wake up every day thinking about gun safety and how we have to do better as a country when it comes to children and families and communities feeling safe. Some of them wake up in the morning because they have a story, or they know someone with a Me Too story, and they want to make sure that her voice is going to be heard in Congress. Every one of our women wakes up in the morning not thinking about the office they want to hold or the title that it is, but the difference that they want to make and that they will make. And that is because of your support. I believe if you wake up in the morning caring about something enough that you are qualified to run for office. Every one of those women you met today proves that point perfectly. So please, take out your pen, or your credit card, or your checkbook, and help us cross the finish line together. Help us make sure that every one of those women and the issues and the people and the causes and the communities that they care about will have the voices they deserve in the United States Congress this year. Thank you so much for your support, Emily, for our candidates. Like I said, our staff will be around. Thank you for being a part of this special day.
Nice to meet you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.